Teaching number 133. You are welcome, my beloved, who came to hear my word. Here is the Master of humanity. Now I am communicating through these spokesmen, as I once spoke to the peoples through the mouth of the prophets. Do you find among men something greater than what your God has revealed to you? No. Then why do you follow lost paths, if before your eyes I have set a straight path? Only I can reveal to you what have been mysteries for you. Who else can intervene in God's designs? Only my divine light could have revealed to you that your present life has been granted to you to atone for past faults that your heart ignores. In that chalice of bitterness you are atoning for errors to purify your spirit and achieve evolution. Do not forget that your existence is not limited by your matter, therefore when it ends, your spirit does not die. Have you forgotten that the spirit is the seed of eternity? Neither limit me in the way of Jesus. If you want to remember me or meditate on my manifestation as a man, do so remembering my teachings and my works. Conceive me infinite, so that you recognize the first proof of love that I gave you by making myself similar to you, so that later, through the practice of the virtues, you would be similar to my divinity by imitating my examples. If I speak to you in this way, it is because you are already capable of understanding me. I am all spirit, but in all my works I am present. If you look for me as it surrounds you on earth, in the air, in space, in light, you will see me there. If you seek my presence in the most insignificant creature, in the leaf of a tree that moves in the breeze or in the perfume of a flower, there you will find me, there you will discover the imprint of love with which the Creator signs all his works. Many wonders have been discovered and created by your science, but man has not done everything, because I placed in him the elements of life. The beginning of everything is in my charity. The spirit through the human mind is a mirror that reflects the light and power of the divine. The higher the spirit and the more evolved the mind, the more revelations it will have to reflect. If today your science has given you very bitter fruits, it is because you have carried that light only along the path of free will. Have I not told you that you are the lost sheep? That is the reason why I am coming after you to recover you. When you return to my fold along the true path, the harmony between you and the Father will cause you to give humanity true fruits of life. Why should you always go the crooked way, if the voice of your inner judge never tires of speaking to you? Why shouldn't you embrace the good, if whenever you do a good deed, your spirit is flooded with joy? Humanity, I have never wanted you to get lost. It is unfair that you have that concept of me, that you think that I have created beings that will inevitably have to be lost, that I have indicated that destiny to the children of God. Understand that your destiny is different, it is to live eternally and not a few, but all, because you are all my children. If I descended to the world becoming a man, it was to show you in the examples of that sacrifice, the fulfillment of the mission indicated by my divinity. I tell you that that blood was shed to trace the path of restitution for all my children, and that if someone had not reached that benefit, for him I would only become a man again and I would give my blood to save him. There is no justice perfect like mine. If now you complain that in the world sentences are weighed on innocence and that instead there are some culprits without the justice of the world having sanctioned them, do not fear, nor judge them, remember that everything has a limit, that nothing goes unnoticed before me and that everything has an end on earth. Walk, my children, do not stop, but go along the path that my law has outlined for you. Tell me that you love me, but not with words, but with acts, with works of love towards your brothers. Do not raise material altars to adore me, but if you need an altar to be able to inspire you, look at that wonderful nature that surrounds you and love me through it, that way you will come to me. Beloved disciples, whenever you approach me, prepared in spirit and matter, you will receive my strength and consolation, your sorrows will depart and you will taste milk and honey. Deposit in me what your heart contains, and I will dispose in your life according to my will. I want you all to fight, for no one to be lethargic, for you to be solicitous and work with submission and obedience, because it is time for fulfillment and restitution, and your farming tools only acquire shine after the struggle. Humanity is waiting for my new disciples, but if you who are my servants, for fear of the judgment of the world, abandon the seed and the tools, what will become of this humanity? Have you not felt the responsibility of your position? Your conscience never deceives you, and it will always tell you if you have complied. That restlessness that you experience is a sign that you have not observed my precepts. I have given you the gift of peace, and you have not sown it in the hearts of your brothers. You have not influenced with your thoughts and prayers to alleviate the pain of the nations that are at war. Do not be like the blind leading the blind. Remember that I have told you that you are the light of the world. Your charge will not be heavy if you have love for this cause. If you present me with good purposes, I will help you. It will not be necessary for you to go in search of the sick, but you will be requested. I will put them in your way, and thus you will be able to fulfill that blessed mission of consoling. Those who come to you will have been prepared by me so that you do not stumble over hard hearts and tell me, how heavy is the charge that you have given me, Father, and how hard are the lands that I am tilling. I have prepared everything for you. May you work with love and perfect yourselves. I have chosen you to entrust this mission to you, because you love me and have presented me with your humility and submission. I do not want that after having taken you as intermediaries to pour out my charity on the needy, you feel superior to your brothers and you do not know me. To uplift your spirits, you must give up the superfluous pleasures of this world. My path is narrow, and it is necessary to watch and pray, but if you truly love me, it will not be a sacrifice for you to separate yourself from these human miseries. I have made your cross light, I have enlightened those around you so that they are not obstacles in your path. Tomorrow there will be a war of doctrines and ideas. Many of your brothers, tired of false promises, will come to you in search of truth, and if you are not prepared, the presence of these men will intimidate you. Fight for the salvation of humanity and take advantage of this time, because 1950 is approaching and I will stop speaking to you through the mouthpieces. Many of you will serve me before that year and others after it. After that year, you, who have transmitted my word, will not penetrate into ecstasy, and those who have allowed the spiritual world to manifest in this time, will obey its inspirations and you will feel protected at all times. I will be with all my children so that you continue to make my teachings known to humanity. At that time your enemies will try to annihilate you and form obstacles for the development of my work. If you are disunited, you will feel weakened. Many of those persecutors, knowing the essence of my doctrine, will recognize me, convert and take my teachings to other nations and regions. I want you to bring this light to all my children, some humble and others powerful, that you seek their spirit that groans and know how to guide it, and that you who have been rude, know how to interpret my will before the world. Each one is in the place I have indicated. Do not gossip about those whom I have left before you as interpreters, as those responsible for these multitudes. Rather, help them with your thoughts. If I have chosen them to give them an important position, pray for them so that they carry out their delicate mission. You, who have suffered the tests that have forged your heart, can now understand the one who suffers and penetrate the arcane that is the human heart, discover the sorrow or the evil that afflicts it, to comfort it. Understand me, people, and think that if I have materialized my word, it is because I love you and I want you to know my desire is that you love one another. Shake hands in friendship, but do it sincerely. How do you want to be brothers, if you have not known how to be friends? If you want the Father to dwell among you, you must learn to live as brothers. When you take that step on the path of brotherhood, your triumph will be rewarded by communication from spirit to spirit. I have given you many gifts and I announce to you that when you are united in will and in thought, I will allow you to communicate by inspiration with your brothers who live beyond your world. My work is of light, my truth is clear, so I tell you that no one can walk in darkness, affirming that I am there. At that time, when I became a man I lived among you. It happened many times that at night, when everyone rested, there was no lack of men who searched for me, stealthily reaching me, fearing being discovered. They were looking for me, because they felt remorse for having shouted and scandalized me while I was speaking to the crowd, and their remorse was more intense when they verified that in their hearts my word had left them a present of peace and light, and in their bodies I had poured my healing balm. With their heads lowered they appeared before me, saying, Master, forgive us, we have recognized that there is truth in your word. I answered them, if you have found that I only speak the truth, why do you hide? Do you not go out to receive the rays of the sun when it appears, and when have you been ashamed of it? He who loves the truth never hides it, nor denies it, nor is he ashamed of it. I speak to you like this, because I see that many come to secretly listen to me, lying where they have come, hiding what they have heard and sometimes denying having been with me. What are you ashamed of? It is necessary that you learn to speak of my work and of my word, in such a way that you do not give rise to being mocked or pointed at. It is also necessary that you cultivate sincerity, so that when you bear witness to me, you do so with words that are expressions that spring from your heart. That is the seed that always germinates, because it has the essence of truth that touches the heart and reaches the spirit. My divine message, when deposited in you, must be transformed into a fraternal message, but in order for it to impress and move the materialistic and skeptical heart of this humanity, it must be wrapped in the truth that I have revealed to you. If you hide something or remain silent, you will not have given a full testimony of what my revelation has been in the third era, and therefore, you will not be believed. I have come to prove to you that the blindfold of darkness can be removed from the ignorant or the stubborn, without harming him, without hurting him, offending him or wounding him, and I want you to do so too. I have proved in you that love, forgiveness, patience and mercy are stronger than harshness, anathemas, or violence. Keep this lesson, disciples, and do not forget that if you want to call yourselves worthy brothers of your peers, you will have to collect goodness and virtues to pour them out on them. I promise you that when the light of brotherhood shines on earth, I will make my presence felt vibrantly. The spirit of the one who knows how to prepare, is ecstatic in the contemplation of the spiritual teachings, inspired by the word of the Master. The land of your heart has not been barren, and soon the wheat will bear fruit. My light has torn through the dense darkness of your ignorance, your heart has softened to love me and your understanding has cleared to understand my revelation. This light has made you contemplate the greatness of life, the perfections of creation, the wonders of nature and the wisdom with which each destiny has been traced. Sometimes you say to me, Master, it is easy to learn your lesson, but difficult to practice it. Then, the Master encourages you and with his love inspires confidence in you. Then in your daily life he puts you to the test within the reach of your ability, and thus, insensibly, you begin to practice the Master's lessons, understanding that faith and love is what you need to travel this path. Remember that when you have arrived in front of my presence, before insisting that you immediately begin the fulfillment of some mission, I let you listen to me, so that you may be saturated with my word, which is wisdom and strength, balm and peace. Before I have let you search for my truth until you find it, I have let you scrutinize my work and penetrate it as far as you want, as I told Thomas to sink his fingers into the wound in my side so that he could believe. Only in this way can you be firm and persevering in the fight that awaits you. I have made you listen to my word countless times and that you feel like disciples before my lectures. My divinity has manifested itself and I have allowed my spiritual realm to give proof of its presence, working wonders among you. If you know how to understand and look well at what I have granted you, you will be convinced that you are not hungry or in need of tests and miracles. You have seen the prodigies take place in yourselves or in your brothers, and those prodigies have been the ones that have lit the flame of your faith, and those that raised an altar of love in your heart. You have everything, so that you can come to practice my doctrine with the purity and elevation that you already understand. Today you question me at every step, tomorrow you will be the ones to answer the questions that your brothers ask you. Delicate and beautiful is the mission that I have come to entrust to you. It is the cross of love under which you will fall, and the one that will lift you up with its strength. Who will be able to go through this life without carrying a cross, and who will be the one who, carrying it, does not sometimes fall overwhelmed by its weight? Do not forget that I, your Messiah, your Redeemer, also had my cross on earth and had to fall time after time under its weight. But truly I tell you, that the flesh will be able to bend and fall overwhelmed under the weight of pain, fatigue and agony, but the spirit will not be defeated, because in each fall, it will rise higher, in each complaint, it will bless its destiny and from death itself it will rise to the light of true life. Christ did not disdain to take up his cross, carrying it on his back to Calvary and dying on it. He gave you the greatest example of humility and went to the right hand of the Father. That cross was the pen with which I wrote my passion in the hearts of men. O people to whom I have entrusted the mission of being light and salvation for humanity! You are the disciple of the 3 times, who until now, in the third, will become a teacher. Today you are united forming congregations, crowds and groups, tomorrow you will rise up by different paths testifying and teaching my doctrine, but spiritually, you will not be distant from each other. Even if you were separated by the seas or by extensive lands, your hearts will beat one next to the other, united by the ideal of fulfilling your mission. The unification of this people will come after 1950, and the joy of the Father will be great when he sees the fruitfulness of the seed that he cultivated with his word, which was like fertile dew and that the people received from 1866 to 1950. The time is drawing near, people, when you will have to deliver the first fruits of your mission to your Father Jehovah, at the foot of the new Mount Sinai. I want you to present to the Father in that blessed hour the unification that you lost in past times and that I have asked so much of you in the present, that you do not arrive before him carrying fanaticism or idolatry in your heart, and in your hands the fruit of mystification. How could he who worships idols discover his error, if he found you also deifying similar objects? Charity is fertilizing all lands, so that the seed of spirituality falls on them. Do not fear your destiny, people, within this mission there is no slavery, nor is this fold a prison, nor are the charges that I have entrusted to you chains. Blessed are those who enter this ark with faith and goodwill, because they will be saved from the temptations of this time, they will be strong, because in their pain they will have my balm, in their poverty they will have the treasure of this work, and when persecuted by ingratitude or slander, they will have the consolation of my word of love. I have not come to ask you for superhuman sacrifices. Neither have I demanded that the man stop being a man to follow me, nor have I asked the woman to stop being a woman to fulfill a spiritual mission. I have not separated the husband from his wife, nor have I distanced her from the husband so that they can serve me, nor have I told parents to abandon their children or leave work so that they can follow me. To some and to others, by converting them into servants of this countryside, I have made them understand that not because they are my servants they stop being human and that for the same reason they have to know how to give to God what belongs to God and to the world which corresponds to it. I only tell you that you do not miss any of the occasions that I put in your path so that you fulfill the mission of love that I have taught you. Linked you will find your spiritual and material duties, and many times at the same time you will be complying with both laws. 7 spiritual stages your spirit will have to go through to reach its perfection. Today that you live on earth, you do not know which rung of the ladder you are on. I knowing the resolution of this question of your spirit, I must not tell you for now. Work hard so that, when death arrives, and close the eyes of your body for this life, your spirit feels it rise by itself until it arrives at the dwelling that by its merits it has reached. The disciples of this work will contemplate in the throes of bodily death, how easily the bonds that unite the spirit to matter are broken, in it there will be no pain for having to leave the satisfactions of the earth, his spirit will not wander like a shadow among men, knocking from door to door, from heart to heart in search of light, charity, peace. Pray and watch, see how while my word full of kindness and peace descends among you, there, in other nations, war sows desolation in its path. Pray for the world, people. Men, when you return home with a hurried step, because you want to embrace your wife in your arms, or look into the eyes of your children, and you carry joy in your heart because the fruit of your work, you are going to give to your loved ones, pray for those men who find themselves in death camps and will no longer be able to return in search of their home, because it was razed to the ground. When you have a joy, do not forget that in that same hour there are many who cry. You, women and mothers, when you bow your face to kiss the forehead of the child who sleeps peacefully in the cradle, think of those mothers, who were once like larks and now have lost the nest, their companion and their children, because the war like a hurricane wind destroyed everything. When you close your door and feel the sweet warmth of home and its protection, also think of those mothers who search the bowels of the earth for a place to protect their children from death, think of the children who call their parents without receiving an answer, and of those who say only one word, bread. And while men continue to destroy themselves, you pray, and may your prayer be like an angel of peace that floats over those peoples. From master to disciple and from father to child I have spoken to you, meditate on my word. The meeting that you form with my divinity is similar to a corpulent tree that invites the traveler to rest. I am the root and the trunk of that tree, and you are the extensive branches, covered with foliage. I feed you with the sap, and in it you receive life and strength. Think if you can live detached from me. Sometimes you tell me that you are weakened, and that you suffer because times have changed, and I tell you, that times are the same. What has changed is your heart, because it has not known how to live and persevere in love, in union and in peace, and this is the cause of your affliction. My teaching comes to renew the faith of your spirit, to give you new strength and to enlighten you. My word is crystal clear water that quenches thirst and pours itself inexhaustibly over you. I give you wheat in abundance so that you can cultivate it in the hearts of your brothers. I want that as I love you, you love one another, and also yourselves, because I have granted you not only the guidance and direction of a portion, but the first duty you have towards me is to watch over yourselves. You must love each other, recognizing that you are the living image of your Creator. The harvest that you present to me until today, is of pain and little recognition of my law, and I have not given you this cup to drink. I have told you that if you sow wheat, you will reap wheat, but you must take care of the seed you sow. Today is harvest time and everyone will reap their harvest. Later, the earth will be clean and man will begin a new life, and I will be very close, inspiring his heart. It will be the reign of peace, of which I have spoken much to you, beloved disciples, and for which I am preparing every spirit. I want to contemplate you as little children around my table, listening to me and feeding you, entering into communion with me, and receiving my lessons, forming purposes of fulfillment. I want you to serve your brothers. I will send you to them, when love and charity have blossomed in your heart. Let your life be like a clean mirror so that your actions are reflected in it and you know if you have done well or if you have failed. The development of the virtues of my disciples will be an encouragement for those through whom I communicate, inspiration will be abundant and my grace and wonders will pour out among humanity. Your spiritual brothers, attracted by your preparation, will help you and make your path easy and your work pleasant. Your influence will go beyond your home, your region and nation, helping other hearts. Goodness has a power that you still do not know. I have given my word through simple and ignorant men, but among those who listen to me are scientists, those with cultivated understanding, who have been able to discover my divine essence in the humility of this word. I have polished your heart day after day, to make it sensitive to my inspirations, and my love has won. From the rock that you made present to me in your heart, I have made a temple in which you offer me a worship of love. I entrust my work to you, defend it because it is a jewel of inestimable value. Be sentinels and watch that it is respected and understood. Let nothing make you go back on the road, always go ahead. Whenever your heart thirsts for love, rise to me. When sorrows are like a heavy burden, remember that there is a Father who loves you and who is ready to comfort you, and thinking of me, you will feel that fear and sorrows vanish. Entrust your sick to me and I will heal them. The tree of life has spread its branches to give you rest and freshness, and its fruits have sweetened your heart. My peace be with you.